All right, what's up guys? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. And as we get closer to Xenoblade Chronicles 3's release date, Monolith Soft has been dropping new information on the combat in the game, giving us some new locations to look at, giving us some different characters to examine. So I think that this is going to be really cool leading up to the launch of the game. But before we get into anything, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get all of the videos as soon as they drop, as we're having live streams and also brand new RPG news videos pretty much daily on the channel. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this first, because the unofficial Xenoblade Chronicles Twitter account actually translated the official Twitter account and more like YouTube page on some footage that we haven't quite seen yet, and it explains some of the mechanics that we've seen in the previous trailers. So shout outs to Xenoblade Chronicles at XenobladeEN for this information and of course for the footage. So here's what they had to say on Twitter. Since it doesn't seem as if Nintendo has any plans on tweeting this, two major announcements were made. One, you can freely switch characters in and out of combat, as showcased what you guys are seeing right here. And number two, there is a new mechanic called Quick Move, which is a dash of shorts that allows you to quickly reposition for the sake of preparing a position-based attack. This is a maneuver previously shown in the footage but was left unexplained. So this is very good news. The fact that I kind of suspected that we'd be able to switch characters freely before this footage came out, but now it is revealed. We can switch characters freely in combat, out of combat. Really cool. And on top of that, that dodge that I noticed when they first showed off the footage, because I'm a Xenoblade aficionado, I've been playing them since day one, I've been beating them and just love Xenoblade. I noticed that little quick move that they did there, and that's really good for the pace and speed of the combat. It's going to make things feel a lot better. And I know to the untrained eye, to the un-Xenoblade eye, that might not seem like a big deal, but trust me, when you're in the heat of battle and you want to get a nice positional based attack, especially if the battle's tight and you want to be able to get there quick, that quick dodge or that quick move can be the difference, I think, between actually getting off that special, getting off that art in time, or not being able to do it, or getting hit and knocked out. So I really love that they're adding in these different gameplay mechanics, and that's why I stated before in a previous video that it seems like they've taken everything that they've learned so far with the Xenoblade battle system from Xeno 1, Xeno 2, Xeno X, Torna, Future Connected, everything that they've done so far, and they've put it together on one, and then they've also layered on top of that. It's so uniquely Xeno, but at the same time, very different. We're already seeing multiple different things that distinguish it from other Xenoblade games to kind of make it its own separate thing. So I'm loving what they're doing here. Now, the next bit of information that I wanted to go over is the targeting system in the game, because this is something that sometimes you can be a little bit confused on. Okay, who you're exactly targeting. Yes, you have the title at the top and everything like that, but sometimes in the heat of battle, there might be some issues that you run into. Well, no more with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because this new targeting lock system will definitely show who's being targeted and when. So once again, shout outs to Xenoblade Chronicles, XenobladeEN on Twitter, and they had this to say: when you are targeted by an enemy, you will see a red target line. If the line is red, it is a sign that attackers and healers are being targeted, so be cautious. If the line is blue, it means a defender is being targeted, so you are in a good situation. So that's another translation from the official account. And once again, I love this change, because now you're going to be able to say, okay, it's targeting here, it's targeting there if you're away from them. So this is good because you can clearly define who is being targeted and when, and it gives you a nice visual representation of that actually happening. So once again, adds a nice quality of life feature in addition to strategy, because based on who's being targeted, you'll know when you're going to be able to line up those side attacks, line up those back attacks, along with the positional indicator that they do have to the bottom right of the screen. So once again, it's also another nice addition to the Xeno formula that already works so well. Now, last but not least, when it comes to the Xenoblade information that we're going over today, Nintendo of America, and of course the official Xenoblade account, actually tweeted out some information on the character that we saw at the beginning of the release date trailer. So the second trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles, and that is the long silver or white-haired woman with the dual blades in her hands that is coming after the main party, and her name is Ethel, it seems. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's Ethel, and here's what Nintendo had to say on Twitter. Ethel is a commander of the Kiev Colony 4 in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and wields a pair of slender swords. Famous for defeating 3 enemy colonies at once with only 100 soldiers at her command, Silvercoat Ethel, as she is called, is well known to all the forces of Kiev, and exclamation mark there. And yeah, she looks awesome. I really do like the look of her design. I think that's the coolest thing. I like characters who have like the trench coats or like the long coats with all the different little buckles and little cylinders and geometry on their outfits with the cross buckle around the waistline. That's really cool. Kind of has like a jacket look with the stripes across the sides and everything. Nice little armor plates on her shins and also on her arms. So it looks good, and it looks just all symmetrical, and it looks all color coordinated as well with their hair. So I do love that they're going to be dropping new information on some of the other characters in the game, the NPCs, or at least what we think are NPCs at this point. So I love that. The design of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is just impeccable. They've done a phenomenal job with designing this game. Now, people talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and some of the design was great or not, whatever the case is, but I think that we can all kind of come to somewhat of an agreement that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 probably has the best design so far for the main cast and also for some of the other characters that we've seen in the series history. At least in my opinion, when it comes to art and the graphics and the design, it just looks incredible. So I cannot wait to see more of these characters being detailed on various different posts and Nintendo's social media. So what are your thoughts on all the different Xenoblade Chronicles news that we went over? What are you hoping that they talk about next? I know there was my man Stealth on Twitter, who's also a big Xenoblade fan, says that he wants to see some towns, which I do think that that might be like in a Xenoblade Chronicles section of the Nintendo Direct or a big new trailer before a launch or something like that. So we'll see what they do next, but so far, so good. But what are your thoughts? What do you want to see? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, we've got some big sales news for a really good RPG that released last year, and that is Tales of Arise, with sales topping the big 2 you guys know 2 million on this one here, so that's really cool. So let's go ahead and get into what Bandai Namco had to say here. So total worldwide shipments and digital sales for Tales of Arise have surpassed 2 million units according to Bandai Namco. Now, this achievement comes 6 months after the announcement that the game sold 1.5 million units. So things did slow down quite considerably because it sold the 1.5 fairly quickly after launch, and now it's been 6 months after, and they've only went up by 0.5. So that's definitely not great, but still, for an RPG like this, that's absolutely incredible, and I'm pretty sure that's the best-selling Tales game, or easily one of the best-selling Tales game right there at the top. So you see the franchise going forward, and that's what we need to see. I'm not here to bash the game. I have my own issues here and there with it, but I still think that it's a very good game at the end of the day. It runs great on the PlayStation 5. It looks great as well. It tells a good enough story. So overall, it's a good game, and I do plan on finally beating it at some point because I know I'm near quite the end of it, so I'm having fun with it, but just other things kind of came up. But yeah, this is just great news all around for Japanese RPGs, and I want to see this franchise continue to grow and sell more and more. So Tales of Arise launched for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, PC via Steam on September 9th, 2021, in Japan on September 10th worldwide. So very good stuff there, and I'm happy for the Tales team because they're having a lot of success with this RPG. So we'll see what happens going forward in the future. So what are your thoughts on Tales of Arise surpassing the big 2 million copies sold? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys. It looks like we could have some potential major Persona news coming later this year, because guess what? Yes, a concert was announced. Let's get into this here. So Atlas will host the Persona series concert, Persona Super Live P Sound Wish 2022 Crossing Journey. What a great name. From October 8th to the 9th at Makuhari Messe in Chiba, Japan, the company has announced. Now, the first day of the event will feature performances by a range of popular artists, while the second day will feature even more performances, famously led by Lotus Juice, along with other very talented singers and performers. Now, the event will be live streamed worldwide for users not able to attend in person. Venue tickets will go on sale. You can check it out, link in the description if you want to go there, if you're in Japan or if you want to fly there, on April 29th, while the live stream tickets will follow on May first. Now, previous Persona Super Live concerts have been the venue for major Persona announcements. Now, this is the meat and potatoes here, guys. So, the 2017 event featured Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, and Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. The 2019 event featured Persona 5 Royal. The news was announced as part of the 4th volume of the Atlas Persona 25th Anniversary News Video Series, Persona 25th Times. Now, you guys can check out the announcement, what you guys are doing right here and everything, and let's talk about this because I've seen so many of my Persona content creators, my Atlas content creators, pretty much tearing their hair out over the Persona 25th Anniversary. Heck, I was completely wrong on what I thought that they were going to do, or at least announce in the time frame. I still feel that they're going to bring out some ports and some Persona 4 Golden stuff. Maybe there's Persona 5 Royal for different systems. I still feel like that's going to happen. I just felt that it was going to be announced sooner than it was at this point. But they want to announce it on their own time. They want to try to sell it as part of these tickets. I'm guessing that these have had great financial success for them in the past. So saving the news to try to get hype to sell the tickets and everything probably makes sense for them because they want to make money off of these concerts. I mean, obviously concerts make a lot of money, especially with music as good as Persona. So it does make sense that they're waiting, at least in their eyes, it makes sense. In terms of business wise, it makes sense. Now for the fans, they're like, what? You know, but for them, it makes sense for that because it is a big ticket item. They have big performers there and a lot of people are going to want to tune in live and also streaming because Persona music is really good. So we're going to see how this all goes. I'm hoping that we do get some announcements when it comes to maybe even the next Persona game. Maybe they tease something like that. And even if it's not that, I think like a Persona 4 Golden on modern platforms outside of like PC and everything would be very nice. I think people would enjoy that considering that the game is so old and we haven't gotten it on anything outside of a PS Vita and also a PC, which is just absolutely ridiculous for how good the game is. It makes almost no sense, but here, Atlas can right some of the wrongs that has been happening, and we've seen them kind of move and shift a bit more to multi-platform development with some of the new announcements that they've done with Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, Soul Hackers 2, and stuff like that. So they're not really doing everything exactly like they did before. And obviously, it's still not perfect, but at the same time, I think I'll take that over what we've gotten, which was usually like one system, that was it, and nothing else, you know? Like, we just got 13 Sentinels as well on the Switch, which is a phenomenal Switch port. That's the type of game that would have stayed, you know, on one platform for like decades back in the day. So we'll see what happens going forward. But either way, actually cautiously optimistic that we might get something at this Persona live event, musical, theatrical stuff. So we'll see what happens here. But what are your thoughts on everything that we discussed from Xenoblade and the hotness that is dropping there? Tales of Arise doing extremely well. Very happy for that. And also potential new Persona game announcement, potential big port of a previous Persona game. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're someone new. Click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.